and had a few more tests because I'm getting worse, that it's an autoimmune response. My joints are all attacking themselves and my body is attacking itself. And this is stress related. It's from, I guess, a dis-ease in my soul. And I've been going to hospital and having tests recently because I've got now ulcerative colitis, which means that I'm not digesting food. And a few of you may have noticed that I'm looking a bit slimmer these days, and I've lost 12 kilos, which is about 20 pounds in the last 2 months, which is 15% of my body weight. And I just feel down, and the whole 9/11 changing my mind episode didn't help. So what I see is that the energy I put out there is the energy I receive back. And when you hurt other people, you're just hurting yourself, because other people are you. We are all the universe. And when you attack people that you think are attacking you, you're just attacking other people who are unwell, and you're making yourself unwell in the process. And I see how an eye for an eye will make the whole world blind, and how Jesus Christ was right when he said, turn the other cheek. And the one thing that prevents us turning the other cheek and trying to understand is our big egos, is the separation that we imagine that we have from other people. And there is no separation. As I sat in that cell for the best part of 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I saw that, I was deeply uncomfortable with myself. I kind of lost it 3 times. I kind of panicked and had a panic attack in that cell, because I was unable to look at myself without distractions, without the whole drama, the whole politics of everyday life. So I think sometimes suffering is just what we need for spiritual training, and I suffered a lot, and I am still suffering. But again, I just want to say a sincere apology to everyone who supported me and who I then turned on, and I didn't understand you, and I made fun of you, and I made fun of your beliefs. And one thing I'm really sorry for is making fun of people's religious beliefs, and I thought I was more intelligent or more understanding, and I made fun of Muslims and I made fun of Christians. And it just so turns out that within Islam and within Christianity there's a depth of humanity and knowledge which I'll struggle to achieve in my lifetime. And these are people trying to do good, trying to be charitable, trying to understand and bring peace on earth. So I just want to say to the conspiracy research world that you are not my enemies, and I still have a lot of respect for many people within that, and the people who have helped me get to where I am today, such as David Icke, Alex Jones, Dan Dix from Press for Truth, and many others who I can't list just now. But with your support and your understanding, we are in this together, and we are in a giant psychological propaganda battle against the forces of the state and control and repression. Just bear with me a second, there's a helicopter flying right over. There's a helicopter pad just over there, so it gets quite loud. And I think the people who have a blind obedience to authority or to the government, they're the people we need to try and work on, not those who have a strong distrust, and a correct distrust of state and of government, because the actions of state and government seems to be primarily of expansion, of control, of subordinating people around the world, and of enforcing taxation and making us feel like cattle. So to all the people who are conspiracy researchers, I hope you carry on, and I know you're all searching for the truth as I am, and I want to call a truce here, a peace between myself and you guys, because I do believe we're on the same side, and I do believe I still have a lot more apologizing to do for the stupidity of the last few months, and I've just not dealt with it very well. But I don't think that there's if I can say in my defense, I don't think there's been a precedent for whatever the hell I am doing, and I don't know on a day-to-day basis. And just to all the accusations of selling out or going to where the money is, I've never made a lot of money doing activism and so forth. The donations, when I used to get donations, paid for the rent and for the travel. And the way I've managed to get a new camera is that I've taken out a big bank loan to just support myself for the next 3 months or whatever, and the plan is to try and make films and earn money like that. So I'm not rich by any means. I don't have any luxuries apart from my camera, and I'm having to use a camera here given to me by some German friends because my current camera is still at the police station. And I pled guilty. I pled guilty because they had me between a rock and a hard place on this current one, to Section 5 public order, because they seized and kept my camera as evidence, and had I pled not guilty, I wouldn't have seen my brand new camera for 6 months maybe, and I can't afford to not have my new camera. And when you're terrified, and I was terrified, and like, it's so funny in our society that we feel ashamed to admit things, like we cry, and I'm a grown man. I like to think of myself as strong, but over the 50 hours I burst into tears 3 times. The first time's when my friend, and he's also my lawyer, he came along with a book and some food, and he brought me some fruit. And when you're by yourself for 30 hours and you get a small tiny token of humanity, it means so much. And then when I spoke to my brother and my best friend and my girlfriend, I cried again, because you don't feel connected to anything, and you lose all control. But it's in these moments when we can truly reflect and see that hurt people hurt other people, and if we lash out against those that are lashing out against us, there's no understanding. And I think it's understanding that will win this current troubling phase we're going through of mass mind control fueling mass consumerism, fueling the mass destruction of the environment. I think it's understanding and speaking out, as Martin Luther King said. He said that silence is betrayal. And he's an inspiration. It's not a guy with ego problems running around with a megaphone pissing off police and upsetting the public. That's just me being childish. The inspirations we have are the people who really made a difference whilst maintaining their cool, such as Martin Luther King, such as Nelson Mandela, and countless other peoples who come before us in this great struggle between human freedom and individuality and state oppression. And I know 50 hours in solitary isn't anything compared to, for example, what Amanda Knox went through in Italy. 4 years accused of murder. She spent 4 years in jail. Or Julian Assange, who spent 9 days in British police custody for revealing the truths about the actions of the state. So, in summary, I just want to say a big sorry to everyone, and I hope you can forgive me, and I do need your forgiveness. I do this as a form of therapy. I make these films and I read the comments as a form of trying to do something for the world, and you guys are my true boss. And I'm not a leader, I'm just a guy trying to understand myself. And I think there is something to be said for mixing the political and the personal. And if I try and change myself, maybe the world outside will change as well. So I'll carry on speaking out. I'm not going to have any labels such as the Love Police. I'm not going to call it anything. I'm just going to be me. And if I can make a recommendation at the end here, there's a man on YouTube called Stefan Molyneux from a channel called Free Domain Radio, he speaks very succinctly and philosophically about issues of personal freedom in an unfree world. And I really respect the way he sees the beauty in life, and he sees the beauty in the struggle that we all have, despite the fact that you can switch to the newspapers and you just see rape and murder and killing and madness. So I think our challenge is to remain sane and understand each other in this violent, nasty world without throwing more violence and nastiness out there. And in this respect, I have failed. The last 2 months, I have thrown more violence and nastiness out there. And for that, I'm truly sorry. And I hope we can work together from here. So this is Charlie reporting from West London, and with love and understanding. So sorry.